Everybody knows, not just me.
A very good afternoon to everybody. A very good afternoon to everybody. As you have seen us that we all three are working together on our presentation 2 for HUBC, and that is on review of learning. So we three will show our presentation. First Tracy will start and she will explain her present and past experience of ROL outcome, and she will explain the other steps also, her reflective model, which we all have contributed in that. And then I will join her, then I will continue her with my past and present experience, and I will tell the steps that we have written on explaining the article. And then Harpreet will join us at the last and explaining our references of the article and our remaining steps in our ROL progress. So first Tracy will start her presentation, then I will continue her. Thank you.
So here we move on for the presentation, and first I'll be explaining that about myself. As we three are nurses, we are from same practice, and first presentation was really a face of humanity, and my outcome for that was really I have divided into phase 1 and phase 2. It was phase 1 and it was humanity phase, and first meeting with Dr. Alexandra, she told that to write about an article. So I was really in a curiosity that what will be an article. I have done a research in India, back in India in my master's, but never published it because never got an opportunity. During this past phase, we had just Dr. Alexandra made a rough that okay, that now you wished what is your interest. She told me, so I said okay, nursing education. So outcome was at a comparative study of nursing education system in New Zealand in comparison to the Indian context and the New Zealand context. So I said okay. So as the process went down, it's a nursing education is a vast area, and it had various departments. So in those here we have medical, surgical, we have psychiatry, we have pediatric. So she told me to narrow on now the topic. So as the phase 2 went for this, I narrowed my topic. I discussed with the facilitator, discussed with the peers of the same practice, and this process was when we had a second meeting, in that we were grouped into 3, where the professional development. The next group was on the article. So we 3 of them were talking of same practice, and ultimately the conclusion came, yes, why can't we work together? We are more focused to get registration, and we are our interest is towards the geriatric. So this is how I just scribbled, and my focus was on community health and mental health. So as I discussed with my facilitator, so she told me that you need to narrow down your topic, you need to search a topic. Then accordingly for the community, this is how I went to my process, and in community health we have various in geriatric is a medical condition, pediatric. Still she said me to narrow down the topic. So what's your interest exactly? So I said that I have interest for the midwifery, that's pregnancy type, any conditions like children, and then the older. So she said more to narrow down, and I narrowed down my topic on the olders, and ultimately what will be the problem. So just statistical data showed that there are elderly problems of abuse and mismanagement in India as well as in New Zealand. So at last I came with my formulation of my outcome, that's a comparative study on elderly abuse and neglect in India and New Zealand. This is my evaluation of my progress towards this outcome. I have done a SWOT analysis on myself, that what is my strength. It was the teamwork that really built in me to bring about a statement. Develop new skills, skimming the article, because reading hundreds of articles and going through it's very difficult. So I was really able to understand that how to skim the articles and just list down the main points. And cooperative decision and making making the abilities, the different cooperative decisions. Really, it was my strength point to make, which lead me to for developing my outcome. Well, the weaknesses was database, lack of knowledge of New Zealand context. This is the evaluation which I made for my myself through my past, what was my ROL, and towards my present. Well, I was unaware about the database, how it was just so that you get some data from the Auckland units, you get from the Unitec, but I was unaware about it. But that was my weakness, which I found out. As I formulated, it was gone because I was able to rectify it, and I was able to find out the database. Well, the observation that from this was work distribution was a very good method. Then discussion with the facilitator, discussion with the group, and feedback from the peer, that was really a positive reinforcement. And the threats that I faced was that whether I'm an international student, whether I'll be able to publish an article, then how it is possible for the seminar conduction and all. So this is how I made for my evaluation of my progress, and just by the discussion with the peers, with the discussion with the facilitator, we three came together in a group, and ultimately we found that this can be an outcome of an ROL in this semester. Well, I'll explain about the reflective practice, and we chose the COPS model. The COPS model is a cyclic representation which gives about the concrete experience. Well, what was an actual doing? We went through this process, and the next we'll be doing that till what are these steps remaining and what the steps have taken. So in reflective practice, the concrete experience, we listed out the interest area, we discussed with the facilitator, we discussed with the peers, and the selection of the topic was done, and we narrowed the topic. So this was the concrete, what was the actually done for the for an article, which we are going to write by the next week. That's a manuscript preparation. So this is how we are preparing ourselves to prepare the manuscript. Next is a reflective observation, that we found out the facts and figures, database literature, which was very useful. We found out some keywords like elderly, old age. Then we found formulation of themes. The 7 headings was done by as the subheadings related about the statistical data in India and New Zealand, types of elderly abuse that included the physical abuse, financial abuse, self-neglect, and the risk factors of elderly abuse, that is nursing homes and mental health problems. So this was the formulation of the themes which we did. Then we discussed with our facilitator. So this was a reflective observation which we have made. Then moving on to the abstract conceptualization. It was the second meeting with Dr. Alexander Hunt. Feasibility to publish an article, we were discussing about whether it is feasible enough. Then sorting out the relevant journal in nursing in New Zealand. My colleague will be dealing with it. We have just sought out an journal, and she had a talk, and what other conversation she'll be dealing in. So we were just sorting out. We came into different journal thing that which is published in India and in New Zealand. So we came in contact with the journal with the editor of New Zealand, and what is the requirements of manuscript, as there are certain requirements of the word limits, and what are the subheadings they want. So this was the abstract conceptualization. Next is the active experimentation. Now we are into this phase. After collecting of the literature, we are going to start write the articles, contacting the editors, and presenting the manuscript in a seminar or a conference. And it's our outcome that by the end of this year, we are working towards publishing this article by the end of this year. Well, this is an reflective practice which we did throughout the process for preparing this manuscript, which we are going to do by the next week. Next is a reflective evaluation of the self. Well, it's a professional and practice. Towards my professional, I develop confidence. It's collaborative leadership, that is team leadership quality, which is very essential, and instructional focus, because It really it was just a dream. Okay, for publishing an article, it's very difficult. It's not feasible enough. But the proper guidance and instruction focus that after narrowing, after get your interest area, then after narrowing down the topic, you need a proper discussion was done, and then how to review the articles, how to skim the articles. This was really a very good process, and it was instructional focus for me as a professional. In future also, if I want to do research in a broader aspect, it will be very useful, and a mind map, what, where, how I can make. Well, in my practice, improved my competency level as the knowledge and skill, gave me courage at my practice, and commitment towards my action plan, towards my vision. And vision is that to publish this article in newsletter. Overall, it has made me to focus broadly on research concept and evidence-based practice. It will help me to reflect myself and my practice and guide me to be competent enough in the future in regard to my profession as well as my practice. Well, next, Aditi will be telling about the reflective practice. It's the remaining steps we need to take for preparing an article.
Does anybody have any questions, just briefly, just for Tracy?
Questions we
Wanna do
will
it last?
ask. Yeah.
Okay, so I'll just ask you one question, which is, can you just say a little bit more on your critical and reflective evaluation of how you've used reflective practice in the process so far? Which models have been most useful for you, or for you as a group? And anybody can answer this question.
That was the COPS model.
Okay.
COPS model.
HUBS model, and that's the one you've all used?
Yeah, yes,
Okay.
we used.
Yeah.
Because we came into conclusion, well, I had used John Daly's model, and it was for reflection,
Yeah.
and as Harpreet has used Kolb's model for, and as we three of them had different views, because we have nursing education was our main thing, and we want to get into registration. But as we came into a team, and so we discussed, and at last we came into conclusion that Kolb's model will be
Okay. Yeah. So
That
what
will be
you
useful for us.
useful
Yeah.
for us, and that is how I just reflected that what I'll be doing, what we have done means we have selected the topic, narrowed down the topic, and then the next things.
Okay. So can you tell me anything about what it was about Kolb's model that was particularly useful for you working together and on this topic, as opposed to say Gibbs' model or Dewey's approach? What was it that was specific about Kolb's model? Was it just that you all knew it? Was it that there was something about it that worked well?
We were having the knowledge about that, but we were just applying it in our process.
Yeah.
So that is the main thing about the Kolb's model, that that just
You
we
could
are
apply it in your context.
yeah.
Because the application type, rest of them we got found that what, so what was such. But this we found that
we found
what the
useful
main
for
thing
us.
is concrete experience what we had, and the other thing was that what all observations we made through this procedure. So it was found out that through our article through our for the writing a manuscript, it will be really to jot down the points and to make it narrow down. It will be very useful. And the other thing is abstracts and all. So as we are doing, okay, abstract just it gets into click that the database. So it was really a very reflective one, and it was very easier to lead us into writing a manuscript. So we found out this model.
Well done. Well done. Okay, so these are questions.